Wake up, Maggie. I think I've got something to say to you. I'm Michael Smerconish in the Philly Burbs with a back-to-school lesson about life, perception versus reality. I say college, you think what? 4 years away from home, the trend toward luxury dorm rooms, maybe some D1 football, Palestinian protesters. All true, but not the norm. As per the New York Times, there are more than 19 million college students in the United States. Most are well removed from academia's corridors of wealth and power, cavernous football stadiums, carefree nights hanging out in dorms. The war between President Trump and Harvard University barely registers to them. Instead, many live close to home, often juggling work or taking care of children with their course load. Many are enrolled part-time or in community colleges. So why do we still call 4 years away in a residential setting traditional? For most Americans, that's never really been the case, especially where 41 million attended college but never graduated. And only about 35% of Americans have completed a conventional 4-year undergraduate degree. No doubt cost is a factor. The average college student is $19,000 in debt. And education has become the new default line in American politics. Doug Sosnick, a political strategist who closely advised President Clinton, as well as senators, governors, and corporate leaders, noted that since the 1990s, Democrats have lost working class and rural voters while becoming increasingly reliant on college graduates. That's not a winning formula in a country where nearly 60% of eligible voters lack a 4-year degree. In 2024, Republicans won 14 of the 15 least educated states, while Democrats carried 14 of the 15 most educated states. And it's not just voters. The same divide is now showing up among members of Congress. The Washington Post reported that Republicans in Congress now overwhelmingly come from non-elite schools, while almost half of Democrats graduated from an Ivy League or other elite institution. That's a dramatic shift from 50 years ago, when both parties had similar educational pedigrees tending toward the Ivies. When I was an undergraduate, I never doubted the attainability of the American dream, defined as if you work hard, you're going to get ahead. But today, according to a Wall Street Journal NORC survey, nearly 70% say they believe that no longer holds true or that it never did. And that's the highest level in nearly 15 years of surveys. Once again, perception and reality are different. According to the Journal, when Stanford economist Neil Mahoney and two colleagues studied how economic metrics compared with economic sentiment, they found that the two moved largely in tandem from 2005 until the pandemic, and then the two diverged, with sentiment turning more negative than predicted by traditional measures of the economy. That's a lot of pessimism, right? But hold on. This week, Jim Vandehei, the CEO of Axios, published an essay addressed to college students. And he wrote something that you've often heard from me, namely that we've been duped into thinking that Americans are nastier, meaner, more polarized than ever. And we've been misled into believing the country is more broken, more unfixable, more hostile than it actually is. How did that happen? Well, politicians, the media, particularly social media, their feeds are all chasing the same thing, our attention. And what's the best way to get it? Amplify conflict and juice our emotions. The good news, Vandehei reminds us, is that there's still more that unites us than divides us. Most people aren't consumed by partisan combat. They're not worrying about things like Sydney Sweeney's jeans or her jeans, or whether Cracker Barrel should update its logo. His bottom line was this: America rocks. And here's the way he expressed it. Yes, there are countless things we could do better and lots of things of legit concerns. But I beg young people to understand the enormous, indisputable advantages of this country, especially compared to other nations. We're the best performing economic and new idea generating machine on the globe. We're blessed with 2 oceans on our shoulders and friendly neighbors north and south. We're sitting on more energy than was ever dreamed possible, and we have the freedom to move, live, and work anywhere. We're leading AI and health advances, and we're the envy of all for our startup culture and can-do spirit. He's not alone. Tim Swarens, after 42 years as a journalist, including at USA Today, just signed off with a great farewell column. His parting words, "I choose optimism." He said that over the decades he's been writing, the world has become a much better place, upward and to the right, on the trend lines of standard of living, lifespan, healthcare, civil rights, even crime. He anticipated the objections, climate change, income inequality, Donald Trump and MAGA, the loony left and socialism, AI. He didn't dismiss those challenges, but he argued that the prophets of doom have been consistently wrong for at least 60 years and will probably be wrong for the next 60 years from now until his grandchildren are his age. And he had thoughts on the American dream, noting that just a few years ago, we were told that millennials would forever trail their parents and grandparents in health, in wealth, and in happiness. Instead, millennials are now financially better off than boomers were at the same age, and they're on track to become the wealthiest generation in history, with their children likely to surpass them. Like Vandehei, Swarens warned of the dangers of social media, which trains us to see only the worst in ourselves and in each other. So here's where I land. College reveals the struggles, the divisions, the doubts that we now carry about the American dream. But listen closely, and you'll also hear voices reminding us not to buy into the doom loop, that the long-term trend is still toward progress, and that the dream, while challenged, is not gone. So as students collect their books and get on back to school, that's a lesson worth taking with them. I want to know what you think. Go to my website at Smerconish.com. Answer today's poll question. Do you think the American dream, that if you work hard, you'll get ahead, still holds true, never held true, or once held true but does not anymore? I'll give you results at the end of the hour.